This man was born with a magical superpower, the ability to identify someone's age, annual salary, and job just by their appearance and attire. With this power, he thrived at the casino. Soon, he noticed a man wearing glasses named Lee Dong-jin, a data analyst at the casino. Lee Dong-jin's job was to tailor services to enhance the casino's profits based on customer information, a simple task for someone with his abilities. As expected, the man quickly lost all his bets. Seeing this, Lee Dong-jin signaled a waiter to approach and took the bewildered man to the restaurant, offering him a VIP accommodation voucher as a distraction to keep him betting. Sure enough, after the waiter left, the man calmed down, ready to gamble again. Lee Dong-jin believed it was better to customize services to keep customers coming back rather than letting them lose everything. His approach was so effective that it earned the approval of the consultants and the casino owner, enhancing his reputation. However, while celebrating his success, Lee Dong-jin discovered his car had been vandalized. He immediately reported to the police station, where he saw two men fighting. After calming them down, he identified them as family members who were reluctant to cooperate with the police. Shortly after, a woman with a white dog, the mother of the two boys, entered the scene, confirming Lee Dong-jin's analysis. Impressed by his accuracy, the previously skeptical police promised to catch the culprit responsible for damaging his car. After leaving the police station, the fortunate Lee Dong-jin caught the last subway train. Before he could settle in, he heard a confession nearby. Looking towards the sound, he saw a boy in the corner seemingly pursuing a girl in a black hat. Just then, the girl turned her head, and Lee Dong-jin, seeing her side face, felt as if the world had suddenly paused. The girl was Park Mi-jeong, the goddess he had secretly adored since high school. However, Lee Dong-jin dared not approach her because she was known as a witch at school. Any boy who got close to her would get hurt or even lose his life, which isolated her from others. Once a boy who liked Park Mi-jeong didn't believe the rumors and tried to walk her home on a rainy day. Before Park Mi-jeong could be pleased, lightning struck the boy dead. During the memorial for the boy, Park Mi-jeong stayed behind alone, crying quietly. Several boys had already been hurt after interacting with her, which was widely discussed among classmates. Despite the rumors about Park Mi-jeong, Lee Dong-jin never believed them and attributed everything to coincidence. Rumors about her spread throughout the school, and during group activities, Park Mi-jeong was always alone, seemingly out of place. During a school outing, while taking photos for everyone, Lee Dong-jin noticed Park Mi-jeong sitting alone on a bench and took the opportunity to take several photos of her. At that moment, a boy was accidentally injured. Seeing the boy being carried away, a panic-stricken Park Mi-jeong looked worriedly in the direction he was taken. Although Park Mi-jeong hadn't done anything, she still felt responsible for the boy's injury. Lee Dong-jin watched the helpless girl with a heart full of pity. From then on, he paid even more attention to her every move, keeping his crush on her hidden deep within his heart. He noticed that Park Mi-jeong always ate lunch alone on a bench. To protect her from the sun, Lee Dong-jin asked his mother to donate a sun umbrella to the school. Originally, Lee Dong-jin could only protect Park Mi-jeong silently in his own way. However, another incident occurred when a defiant boy insisted on walking Park Mi-jeong home and was struck by a falling high-voltage wire, dying instantly. After witnessing this, Park Mi-jeong fully embraced her identity as a witch. Lee Dong-jin looked at her with sympathy, wanting to talk to her. But after Park Mi-jeong saw the insults left on the bench, she disappeared down a small path in the campus. As memories flooded back, regret swept over him like a tide. Lee Dong-jin watched her figure, not wanting to miss this chance again, so he followed her out of the subway, maintaining a distance just as they had in high school. The words he had long harbored in his heart still remained unspoken. Around the corner, Lee Dong-jin saw Park Mi-jeong feeding a stray cat and quickly hid. Hearing her scold herself, his heart felt incredibly complex. He had hoped that changing locations would make Park Mi-jeong happy, but it seemed the label of witch had become a permanent mark on her heart. Lee Dong-jin chose not to approach but silently followed Park Mi-jeong until she reached her home. The next morning, Lee Dong-jin learned shocking news. The boy who had confessed to Park Mi-jeong suddenly convulsed and collapsed after they had left. This deepened Lee Dong-jin's contemplation, as he had always believed the witch label was just a coincidence. Recalling various strange incidents from high school, a troubled Lee Dong-jin confided in a friend. Analyzing past phenomena, They theorized that everything might be due to a certain law, meaning that if they could identify this law, they could break the witch label and free Park Mi-jeong from this curse. Perhaps only Park Mi-jeong knew that the curse that had killed many of her suitors was the phrase, "I like you." Saying "I like you" to her meant certain death by the next day, and even speaking a few words with her could cause injury. From a young age, the beautiful Park Mi-jeong had been pursued by countless boys, all of whom seemed to suffer bad luck. For example, a simple conversation with her might result in someone mysteriously falling into a well, or immediately after confessing, they could be struck by a car accident. When Park Mi-jeong finally had a crush on a senior in her early teens, before she could talk more with him, he collapsed, foaming at the mouth. Faced with questions from others, a panicked Park Mi-jeong had to lie that he had been stung by a hornet. These continuous, bizarre incidents terrified Park Mi-jeong, but she still believed they were coincidences. After transferring to a new class, the beautiful Park Mi-jeong quickly became the center of attention. On the first day, one of her admirers thoughtfully handed her a box of milk. Seeing the milk on the table, Park Mi-jeong felt a faint unease. The next day, news of the boy's poisoning spread throughout the class, leading classmates to suspect Park Mi-jeong. That day, as heavy rain fell outside, a male classmate kindly offered to walk Park Mi-jeong home. Listening to his endless talk, Park Mi-jeong suddenly felt a bad premonition. The classmate eventually uttered the cursed phrase. Watching him walk away, Park Mi-jeong's unease grew. Sure enough, just as she turned around, lightning struck from the sky, and she heard the classmate's distant scream, confirming her worst fears. From then on, she became deeply guilt-ridden, spoke less, and avoided contact with others. Despite this, some boys still approached her. During a school outing, a boy who didn't believe in the curse tried to be friendly with her. Frightened, Park Mi-jeong quickly packed her things to leave, hoping to avoid any accidents. However, shortly after, the boy who had approached her twisted his ankle. Moreover, many boys who had contact with Park Mi-jeong experienced various accidents, and she became known as a real witch. The boys who once adored her now wanted nothing more than to stay away from her. However, one brave soul caught up with Park Mi-jeong after school to comfort her. Perhaps the boy's consolation was effective, as Park Mi-jeong felt less resistant. But on their way, the boy suddenly decided to confess his feelings to Park Mi-jeong. At that moment, a transformer above started malfunctioning. Park Mi-jeong guessed what might happen next, but before she could stop him, she saw him right ahead. Suddenly, the wires connected to the transformer fell onto the boy. Sparks flew, and the high voltage killed him instantly. Watching the once lively boy turn into a cold corpse, Park Mi-jeong finally accepted the fact that she was a witch. She knew there was no place for her in school anymore, and that she seemed destined to live in a world of her own. To prevent further accidents, Park Mi-jeong chose to drop out and stay home. Unaware of what his daughter was going through, her father went to the school to investigate the truth. After hearing the rumors about the witch at school, he realized the immense pain his daughter had endured. Park Mi-jeong thought that staying at home would make people forget about her, but the rumors spread like mold throughout the village. The villagers blamed all their misfortunes on her, and her father had a fierce argument with them. To take care of Park Mi-jeong, her father decided to move with her to Seoul, hoping for a better life. However, the very next day, while helping her father with potatoes, Park Mi-jeong was bitten by a snake that emerged suddenly. When she regained consciousness, her wound had been bandaged, but her father lay on the ground. It turned out her father had long suffered from severe periodontitis. After sucking the snake venom from her ankle, the residual toxins in his mouth acted quickly, causing his condition to worsen. Park Mi-jeong wanted to call for help, but her father, to avoid involving her in another witch scandal, quickly stopped her. In his final moments, he comforted Park Mi-jeong as he had when she was a child. As his hand slowly dropped, Park Mi-jeong's last remaining relative passed away. Just then, villagers arrived and witnessed the scene. Seeing her father on the ground, everyone regarded Park Mi-jeong as the murderer. After that day, a devastated Park Mi-jeong fled the village, and no one knew where she went.